fall, because it's just easier when, like, you know the words already and it's not something new. Secondly, for the reading, of course, practice goes for every part anyway, but yeah, for reading it's very essential. Third, and very important, timing. Okay, because I said it in one of my thing, but yeah, I'll say it here as well, that, like, don't divide your time equally, like,
Mm-hmm.
because it says, like, you have 20 minutes for each passage. Don't do that, because the difficulty level of each passage is different. So first one is the easiest and the third one is the most difficult. So obviously it makes sense to give more time to the third one rather than the first one. And because first two passages are easier relatively, then you gotta, like, just get as many questions you can get, like, just get them correct in the first two, and the third one is just a bonus. So yeah, this is my advice. That's what I did.
That's great advice. And did you do it in order? Did you start?
Yes, I did it in order. Yes, I did it in order. But yeah, I mean, you can do any part first. I mean, like, you can do the third passage first. But if you're doing a difficult thing first, it's just, like, maybe it's not.
I think it's better to do it in order.
Yes, I did it in order. Yeah.
The low-hanging fruit first, because what people, I've seen a lot of advice from other people that says do the hard part first, but then you're going to spend lots of time and your brain is just going to be like, oh my God, this is difficult. And then the easier questions become more difficult because you're mentally drained and you don't have time. And
probably, because you're not going to get many of them correct anyway in the third one. So, like, you're just like, your confidence.
The third part is really for people, and a lot of the questions are to separate out the band 7, 8, and 9 people. So for realistically, a lot of people who just need a 7 or an 8 are going to always get some questions in the last part wrong. So that is really good advice. So speaking, you're obviously very good at speaking, but let put yourself in the shoes of someone who just needs a 7 or a 7.5 or something like that. What would be your advice? We've already talked about talk to the examiner like you would talk to a friend and relax. Anything else?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, now, because I've been studying in Ukraine, and obviously I didn't know the Ukrainian language, and the only way I learned it was to converse with people in that language. So English is no different as well. It's the language at the end of the day. So if you want to learn it, like, and be good at, like, conversing, so you should talk to more people and try to talk to people in English anyway, because what happens is, like, when English is not your first language, at home you don't tend to speak in English, like, but if I have to give an advice, it would be, like, a month before your exam, or, like, if your level of English is really bad, then probably 2 months or something, like, just speak in English. Don't speak any other language. Like, just speak in English, and that's the only way you can improve. And it's better to speak with somebody who's got a better level. I mean, because if you are, like, speaking with somebody who's at the same level as you, it's not going to help, because they're at the same level as you and they can't tell you the mistakes, or, like, whatever you are. So it's better to do that.
Excellent. I mean, English speaking is a skill. You have to practice that skill. I don't know how many students I've met who say that they want a band 7 or a band 8, and then you say to them, well, how often do you speak? Like, never. It's like, it is important to practice. Task 2 writing, what would be a quick piece of advice for that?
Task 2 is the most difficult. Okay, practice as much as you can. Because that's what I did. Every day I will write 3 essays. Wow. Okay, now, because and actually I have to say, like, sometimes I would post the essays, and even though, like, you're only allowed 2, Sir Michael would sometimes, like, just check it anyway, and I was the lucky one. So practice a lot. At least write. Okay, I'm not saying, because most of the people work, like, I was not working, so and I had just finished my medical school, so it wasn't a problem for me, but at least write 1 piece of writing a day. It really helps. And I mean, in the group we have the chance to, like, put 2 essays, every week anyway. So like, it's more than enough for the people who are working. And that's the way you can improve. And secondly, I think that's very important. Like, once you have done the 5 writings with you, like, once people have sent you the writings and like, they get the feedback, it's very important to like, read through the whole feedback. I know it's quite long, but it's really helpful. I mean, that's what I used to do. I would read through the feedback, and then if I was struggling, let's say if I was struggling with a particular part, let's say I was struggling with the grammar bit. Like, I was struggling with the grammar bit, to be honest. I was struggling with articles. The thing is, like, I don't know, like, when I speak naturally, like I don't think, like, there should be an or an or the, like, I don't think, like, it just comes naturally, okay? But while I was writing, I was kind of struggling with it because according to the feedback you gave me, so, like, I just went on the internet and, like, I literally read through all the rules. And after that, like, I practiced a lot and I improved. So the whole point is, like, just whatever your area is, like, that your weak area is, know that area, and you will know because we get the feedback. It's like very detailed feedback that we get. So, like, after that, like, just try and improve. And that's the only way you can improve in anything. Like, just target the weak areas. And that's what I did. That's how I improved.
Excellent. And last but not least, academic part 1 or task 1. What would you
That's what I hate. But anyways, yeah, okay. I think everything we need is in the course anyway that you give us. But if I have to give it
for people who are not on my course, what would you suggest?
Okay, I'm not supposed to say that maybe, but like as I always say, like, it's very okay. Writing and speaking are 2 parts in the IELTS exam that you can't do well without getting professional help. I mean, it's not something that I'm just making up. It's very true. Like, because you can improve your reading and listening just because you've got the keys and everything, like, but speaking and writing are 2 parts that you can't improve without professional help. That's what I personally believe. And for the people, I think it's better to get professional help. That's just, and guys, I have to say this, I'm not being bribed. Chris told me not to say this, but I don't know how else to answer this question. So
yeah, I actually said before the video, I said, don't use this as a marketing thing and don't just say.
I know it's not a marketing one. I haven't been bribed. I'm not related to Chris in any way. I'm just a student, but I really think that his help is really what you need.
Yeah, so I'll just say, obviously we can help you, but if you are struggling with writing, I'm not saying join my course or anything, but do get someone to help you. So like, for example, if you're in an English school, find out who is the best IELTS teacher in that school, show them your work, get feedback on it, or find someone to help you with it. And it is really, really going to help, because it's a bit like if you, for example, if you had a problem with your car, would you try and fix it yourself, or would you take it to a professional and get them to identify the problem? So that's it. So thank you very much, Sana. That I think we're about to run out of time. What are you going to do in the future with this result, or what's it?
Well, it was very, very important for me. I actually I think my 1 year is wasted, because I didn't clear my IELTS in time. I didn't know there was a deadline, actually. That was my mistake. But yeah, I'm going to prepare for my medical exams. And after that, I'll have a year, because 1 year is wasted anyway. I know 1 year is going to go in preparation for exams, but after that, I think it's valid for 2 years. So I should quickly clear my medical exams before it runs out.
Wow. That's great, Sana. Thank you very much for sharing your advice with people. It'll be really useful for a lot of students. Thank you so much. And best of luck in your future. Okay, Sana?
Thank you for being an amazing teacher. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks,
You're welcome.
Chris.